Good morning, good morning, good morning. Demetrius Thomas coming to you via my Facebook, YouTube channel. Definitely a pre-recorded message. As you all know, that I go live on my Facebook page, but as far as YouTube, that I have to do my recording and then I post, I upload on YouTube, and then I share it to my Facebook. I'll do this for probably the rest of the month. I'm touching on the subject of mental health awareness, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So therefore, that's what I do and how I do and why I do what I do, to inspire, to encourage, all those great things. So with that being said, this is my 10-minute Talk About It segment. And I was gonna go live yesterday morning. I said that I think Saturday for Mother's Day. Of course I didn't. But you all know, if you watch me Facebook Live, you know my journey, and it's up and down sometimes, and the emotions are all over the place sometimes. I love to peek about the different topics, to encourage, and I just said that earlier, to inspire. So with my YouTube channel, I definitely was inspired many years ago to start the channel, but it just took a different spin about a year and a half ago, and I knew I would use my YouTube channel to do what it had already done for myself on such a journey of healing. So this morning I'm talking about the month of May, mental health awareness, and that's my topic. And I want to share something with you. And during my downtime on yesterday. So it's amazing because it was Mother's Day, and I just thought it was so awesome how every year on my new journey, it's just different. Every experience is different. Every day, when it comes to the celebration and the holidays, they're just different. And I was sharing with somebody, it's just unexpected. And the reason I just love sharing about this Mental Health Awareness Month is because that is what made me go on the journey that I went on starting last year, March. I'll say about March, really when I took my mental health serious, when I realized some things that I had been implementing that just wasn't working. I had to go on a deep spiritual level of purging and healing. So I say that this year, when I look at, and probably May from now on, anything dealing with mental health awareness from now on, it's going to stick out to me, because it was once I became aware of my mental health status when I realized the level of work that I had to put in on myself. So, which I think is so important. And I shared on Saturday about how mental health and how it can be masked, how we can cover it up, and how we can look the part, and how we can dress the part. But I want to share this with you this morning. And as I sat there yesterday and I was contemplating my week and preparing some things for this week, I have a live interview, I think, on tomorrow, and I have some business decisions to make. I feel like this week I don't need to keep putting them off, and I have some other major life-changing decisions to make. Do you know that it wasn't until I got into a very authentic space of healing, for real, and healing the hurts that were evident, that things began to unfold for myself, and I began to see clearly, and I began to get a greater understanding. And it seems like some of the plugs, the things that I was deaf to in my ear, the plugs begin to unplug, and I can hear different, I can see differently, and I begin to love from a very authentic place when I begin to really heal. And forgiveness is a part of my healing too. But Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to share this with you before, so I can move on, because this is what really came across my plate yesterday. First of all, people that are really healed, they think different. People that are really healed, not only just think different, their conversation is different. Not just their conversations, the entire way they live their lives is different. And I'm so grateful for the people who God has allowed me to connect with authentically, and that we can be very vulnerable. Let me tell you something. It's a difference when people can be open and honest with you. It's a difference. These are different levels when people can be transparent with you. And do you know, to be vulnerable, that's whole truths without asking. To be vulnerable is a very powerful place to be in. But when you're vulnerable, it puts you on an entirely different level, connected with another human being, when they can really tell you their truths without you having to ask, because they trust you. And what God showed me yesterday in my downtime and in my quiet time, and as I was preparing some things for this week, I'm so grateful for the few people I could have, and I got this from Snoop Dogg. I can have thousands of friends because I'm a friend to most people. I know how to be a friend. I don't need nobody to teach me and tell me. That's just in my nature. That's who I am. But that does not always mean that people know how to give you that back on that level. Ooh, on that level. So I'm saying all that to say this because I'm getting into health. Because it hit me yesterday. What really pushed me and what really made me be okay with going on this level of healing when it came to my mental health, once I was aware that I wasn't healthy mentally, was those who were around me that had already taken this journey and who had openly, honestly, and was vulnerable with me about their journey. That's where some of my deepest connections with a few folks. I got a lot of friends now, because and then they on different levels. And I know I've been good friends to a lot of folks, but those folks who have been very vulnerable with me, open and honest and vulnerable with me, with their truths about that's what led me on where I'm at and got me to a place and a position to say, you're not okay mentally. You're not healthy mentally. And I could look the part and I could dress the part. I could sing, speak in tongues, shout. I could write prescriptions. I could teach. I could be in the courtroom. I just said all of that. That's why mental health, it can be dangerous because it's not an x-ray for it. I said that Saturday too. But let me explain something to you about the vulnerability. And let me help you, for those of you that are watching me, that know some of my story, and some of you all know probably a lot more of the truths of some of my journey on this journey that I want you to, and all of these folks that may form opinions and may not understand why God has called me and chosen me to do what I do. There is nothing wrong with folks who have healed to talk about their hurts. There is nothing wrong. I need you to understand this, because that's another thing that causes people to stay stuck and unhealed, because folks want to make you feel like there's a problem with you talking about your hurts. There's a problem with you discussing your hurts. There's a problem with you communicating your hurts. Not if it's coming from a place to help you heal and to help others heal. Thank you, God. Not if it's coming from a place of healing. Now, this is why my book 2 couldn't be a part of my book 1. The first book, the second book couldn't be a part of the first book because I hadn't healed to a certain level in order to write about the things that God is going to trust me and is trusting me to write about in my second book. He said, because you wasn't healed properly. Now, some people can do what they do and it's okay. But when you're called to a certain level of leadership, and when you're called to impact and not impress, y'all have heard me say that plenty of times, then He's gonna expect you to do it a certain kind of way. And I can't get up and be preaching and teaching and helping folks from a hurt place and it's malice and evil coming out of my tongue and from my heart. Get what I'm about to say, because this is over. 10-minute talk about it. It is okay for you to talk about your hurts when it's connected to healing yourself and when it's connected to healing others. Do you understand me? I declare today that you can walk in that level of freedom, because I'm going to explain something to you. You're not even going to get to a level of healing that you need to be at until you learn to open your mouth and talk about it to folks that you can trust with your truths at that level of vulnerability. Now, you can't help who hurt you. You can't help how you got hurt. You can't help why your mental is all over the place and it may be connected to something that you did not do. But you are responsible to learn how to fix your hurts. You are responsible to learn how to heal your hurts. You are responsible, and listen at me, you are responsible to heal those things that are hurting you. Listen at me. We are so blind and things have been masked and people will make you feel a certain type of way. You know why? Because they're not completely healed. Because I'm going to tell you something about a real whole person, or a person that's really been on a deep, authentic, genuine journey of healing. They want to see you heal. They want to see your hurts fixed. They really care enough about you to say, sis, I may not understand it, but I can get it. I may not always get it, but I'm gonna try to get what you're saying. That's what real whole people do for you. For real. So my thing is, I'm talking about May being Mental Health Awareness Month, but I'm sharing with you from a space of someone who had to first realize. See, if you don't become aware that you're mentally unhealthy, it stays there. Or if you're aware that you are and you do nothing about fixing it and healing it, guess what? That thing just manifests. It just metastasizes. And it grows. And it grows sometimes silently, or it grows outwardly, openly. And guess what happens? It begins to form into a situation and a circumstance where now you can't even help yourself. You really need to go get some help. And the dangerous part about mental health is people that stay around us every day. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to discuss it. And some folks can see you amiss and leave you amiss. But I'm grateful. I'm going to say this again because my 10 minutes is up. It's 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's up. My 10-minute talk about segment. It's okay for you while you're on your healing journey. And I'm going to be honest with you. You should be talking about those things that are affecting your mental health. Whatever the hurt is. Whatever the trauma is. Whatever the pain is. You have to get to a place that you bring awareness to it. And my prayer is that you can find someone that you can trust genuinely, that you can be vulnerable with your truths, so we can heal together, and we can be better people together, and we can be better family together, and we can be better friends together, and we can be better leaders together without fear of failing each other, without having to fake it, without having to mask it, without having to put a Band-Aid on it. So we can be true, and we can do some powerful things together through the healing segment of who we really are. So we can move mountains together. So our grandchildren can grow together, and they can do things on different levels that we could ever dream of. So that we can leave a living legacy of more than making money, but being solid and sound in the mental. Get what I'm telling you? God is so faithful, and I love him so much, and I have to be obedient and get off. Y'all have an amazing Monday. Y'all have an amazing week. I just thank you all so much for so much love you gave me on Mother's Day. It was a hard but a beautiful weekend, and I just thank God for all that he's done and all that he continues to do in my life, for the amazing people that are in my life. So that's it. Love, peace, and happiness.